Okay, this is the September meeting of the North Shade Tree Commission. We are called to order at 7:09 p.m. We have a quorum of Baylor, S. Clark, White's Ward has communicated. She will arrive late. Crowleys will not attend this evening. Okay.
You want me to take a note since you're on?
So, did, Christina and Bettina, did you have the opportunity to review the minutes that I sent to you about?
I just glanced at them, I'm just finished.
Okay, good. So do I have a, motion to approve? So motion by Taylor, seconded by Hess. All approved, aye. Any not approved, nay, so 3 yes, 0 no. We have 2 visitors. One is Jim Spear, our connection at Borough Council, who represents the, which committee is it called, public?
I'm not on that committee, so.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's all screwed up, but yes, I mean. yeah,
He's a
anyway.
Borough Council representative with specific support of the Shade Commission, and Jeff Eldon, our Director of Public Works and the Borough.
You can hang on a second, I can't find it, I'm trying to get a copy of it. That's been going on.
Okay, I'm sharing this with you too. This one, but it does help. I sent the 24-9-10 draft minutes SPC meeting.
Okay. I can say that. Oh.
Seeing no members of the public present. Are there any comments by our guests?
This not.
Code enforcement material. What we got? Did we discuss this last week?
I was on Zoom last time and then,
That's right, you were
but I feel like. We're sent out the documents.
okay. All right.
They were kids in our document, whether it was
Today?
about, no,
Oh.
like. a Little. I
don't recall that.
Okay, that I trust your memory better than my recollection.
I think that what we had discussed, tell me what, if you think this sounds right to you, that, we've been talking a lot about pruning since the code, does the Narberth code does require that you keep, trees, 8 feet above any sidewalk, 14 feet above any streets. And we mentioned a concern we had about property owners knowing the safe way to prune that. So we had discussed, and we can discuss further tonight, either providing information to homeowners about safe pruning techniques. And giving them contacts on the Shade Commission who might be able to give them specific advice on how to save it.
About some sort of burning workshop in your involvement.
We did, we also discussed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we need to discuss it daily. So maybe we should add to the agenda or to the minutes. That we recommend a date of is January, February are the safest months to prove, it's not right, the dormant months. So I think that we should recommend that we. Actually it's getting closer now, don't you think we should recommend that we have a pruning date, pruning workshop in January or February? But I think we need to set that. I mean, our next meeting will be. Over.
Would you wanna have that, would that need to be on, like on borough property in this building? Or a thought to have it at, Shift? I could ask, I mean, they book up, but it's a nice space and it could get us more people to come.
So should we be doing it where we're putting trees up?
Well, in January, February, we have it outside,
What is it? Like you're.
maybe, and like have an actual tree and it might. I mean, that's a really good thought. But maybe we could do a video or something instead, just because we wouldn't have to be worried about the weather. It gets dark so early, we probably wanna do it after in the evening at some time. Where we wouldn't be able to do a live demo. I mean, I love the idea of a live demo, but that has some logistics, but we could do a video and share that. At
Yeah, I bet the Pennsylvania Borough Cultural Society might have a video.
Yeah.
Oh, we have our night's guest Shakespeare.
What about doing both? You could have volunteers,
Thank you for coming, Don.
you could have volunteers who might wanna come and see a live demo for your tree, we could also film it at the same time. You know, we could, you know, put the video out later.
I think Christina's right, though. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think it makes sense, because seeing something in person really makes, excuse me, Don, we're just talking about. You know, we had discussed having a opportunity for property owners in Narberth to attend a pruning workshop. So they can see how to care for their trees and ensure that they're sticking with the code and 8 feet above the sidewalk.
Well, that's a good idea. Why don't we prove it in something in Brooklyn, inside demonstration first and then like the next weekend or something. They're volunteers for people who want their trees pruned and then.
Wait,
That's what I was
saying the opposite. Aren't you saying that our first thing would be an outdoor pruning? We
Just
would
suggesting you could
film
film,
it.
you could film the live. The live demonstration. The live session.
I think there probably are videos that VHS has like on YouTube or something that would easily be.
Okay, so I'm thinking maybe what we do is one of us takes on getting this set, so at the next meeting, we have a date, consider one.
It might, do you want me to just ask, it might not even, they do book up like a couple months in advance, it might not even be possible, but why don't I ask, it doesn't hold us to it.
Okay,
And then we could also figure out a live date, in person date.
okay, so at our next meeting, you'll report back, yes, about, the plans for that.
We could also, I mean, like if they're busy, but we want to use their space, like see what works for them, so their availability is.
There you go. Okay, I just wanna make a side, mention that our newest member, is very excited and delighted. Welcome, John, of course, in this commission, long time coming. Can't say enough, she has done unbelievable work for the commission as a volunteer. I mean, the number of polls, I can't even imagine. Did you start in 2016 taking polls? I think you started in 2016. And
text him randomly when we think polls.
But we really appreciate all of your colleagues, and we're really excited about having your contributions as a leader now. So it's really great to have you here. And we do need to discuss, and we'll do that in a little bit, you know, how we're gonna manage, whether we change the time of the meeting, day of the meeting, or what. We'll do that. Okay, so are we ready to move on? Does anyone want to say anything more about this pruning and code enforcement? Do you have anything to say about that, Jeff? Do you have any concerns?
I wasn't included in that conversation. I know it was Matt West,
Okay,
Kevin Walsh, our codes official,
okay,
and Rick Traley's, you know,
Oh.
all meant to talk about it.
okay,
But I wasn't involved
Okay.
with it, so I would expect either of those three could give you a bit of information on what was talked about.
okay.
So,
Do you have an opinion about, how do you prune trees? Like, do you have like an organized thing that you do every year with the?
How we do it?
Yeah.
We're only a 5-year, all our trees are higher or bigger, you know, so they're
Yeah.
not as. You know, accessible from the sidewalk.
Sure.
So they're just spread out over a 5-year cycle.
So you have it like on a spreadsheet with dates and stuff? And then do you use the, borough arborist, or is it borough engineer arborist, or what's that?
Or,
Pruning the trees, the big trees.
I mean, the tree company that we use, you know, has, you know, a handful of ISA, you know.
Oh, I see. And they do the pruning.
Mhm.
And what's the timing on that usually? That
We
you,
prune year round, just based on events, you know, like we pruned the trees along the sidewalk on Ledger Avenue. The week of July 4th, you know, so those are the
Okay.
best view for the fireworks and right before baseball camp. So we kind of time out some of our pruning.
okay. So you're not doing pruning just for code enforcement, because you're doing it also for events.
Well, events, you know, we really take a step back and look at the tree growth and the canopy, and if we need to get it there and thin it out. Then we will, you know, like you look at, you know. Perfect example is that flowering cherry out back, right next to the vegetable garden back here. You know, Shriner's crew spent about 4 hours in that tree, you know,
Wow.
pulled out about a truckload of debris, but you wouldn't know it. But, you know, just every cut they were making, you know, was, you know, 1/2-inch twigs that were just crossing, touching,
Okay.
rubbing, so we really start to get into it.
Okay, so that's how you do it, it's based on kind of what you see as need.
And yeah, it's, you know, the first and foremost, you know, you want to remove the part of the tree that has died, you know,
Sure.
whether it's just a limb. Then we want to look at the limbs that are touching or crossing each other that will eventually like grow together, fuse together. And then once those two are out of the way, that's when you move to, you know, like the overall, if you're in for shape. You know, so if you're in for like an umbrella type shape, you know, that's when you do it. But that's not what we're after here. We go for health and openness for airflow.
Okay, that's interesting. Jim, did you wanted to say something? You had your hand up when I first
Um,
asked.
No, I'm sorry.
yeah, no, that's right. It's that it has come up that there were trees getting cited about the shade tree trees that were getting cited for maybe blocking the sidewalk or.
Yeah, that was on my
So
blog, yeah.
Rick did bring it to council that, you know, they prefer that these things get pruned at the appropriate time of year rather than, you know, rather at the time of citation. So that seems favorable,
Okay,
that would wait till January, February to prune these things. With the exception, if it's a public safety matter, like if a tree blocking a stop sign, or, you know, a corner visibility, then could be more urgent.
well, I guess The question then is, how do we know what's the? What's that?
Just hear a big blower in the dark. Yeah.
24/7 in my neighborhood, I'm telling you. It's Unbelievable. Yeah, the grass hasn't grown in like a month. Dust is flying. Hello. So. I guess what we're talking about then is maybe we need to, maybe that's what Rick wanted to bring up when we were discussing it tonight, but I guess what we need to be clear with is when someone is cited on their property for violating code, they need to have, that's what he's talking about. We need to provide specific information to the property. So like when I got cited, I didn't know why.
You get cited?
I was the first one cited.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. But Matt West explained to me that it's usually just a neighbor complaining, your neighbor who hates my yard. And, you know, wants me to move and take my yard with me. So, I was cited because of a complaint. But I think Rick's, suggestion really makes sense. So when someone gets cited, they need specific information about why they're cited. And also they need, maybe we as a Shaker Commission could provide helpful information to them that says, you know, here's what needs to happen. We have a workshop for pruning. This is when it occurs yearly. During the dormant season, we'd love to have you attend. If you have any questions, you can contact the Shade Tree Commission members. I think that was the main thing he was concerned about, that people are getting citations. They don't know what to do.
Well, they
Or
might,
they were just
They
shot.
take a saw and just like chop the whole tree down, right? Yeah, okay, so I guess our action steps are, you're gonna start looking into like what would be an appropriate date and where we could have it, and then at our next meeting in October, we can sort out when we can do it and all of that stuff.
Would you like me to CC you all on the workshop proposal that I sent to them?
Or just bring it when you come, I mean, what does somebody else think? Wanna know, well, she's trying to get it together.
Okay, no, I'll, you know, because you don't need to say go. So let me do it and I'll let you, if it's a go, I'll.
You report back.
Yeah. I was gonna just ask Shift if we could host a workshop there for probably, I think, an hour. Typically, their workshops are like 2 hours. I think an hour. If we could get people to come to something. No, longer than an hour.
And hopefully we can show a video, as we said, from some VHS or another word. Maybe the Arbor Day Foundation has something. They have some too.
Yeah,
Arbor Foundation, Arbor Day Foundation has everything.
even he just has a great document that shows like, it shows an illustration and cut this branch and how to cut it. It's really a good graphic. But again, I think looking at an actual tree and seeing that, like that would be most interesting for people to do too. So we should definitely explore them both.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay. Anything else with code enforcement? Okay, so we're gonna move on to fall planting. Did you receive the agenda? Okay. Oh, you got a printer at your house.
and then probably, I have a quick question about the, are there, is it? Are they sending out more code enforcement than they have been, or is it something new happening? Like,
It was new to me.
okay, so always happened all along. I mean, we live at corner, we've had that, our trees go around to tree them back a couple times a year, like. Before school starts, even though it's not always a year. But, so I didn't know if there's something more happening that. Gives some educational.
So what happened was I got cited. When I responded back to the code enforcement officer, she couldn't tell me why I was cited. And then several of my neighbors were cited, and then Rick was cited. So we were just wondering why Woodside Avenue was having this like citation thing.
It's just, it's because
So we kind of dug into it, and that's how it came up.
so it's not.
Okay,
it's
so
not a new
you're,
thing.
you're a veteran of being cited.
Happened once a few years ago.
So when you were cited, did they tell you specifically what you were cited for?
I don't remember his file followed up with it.
Oh, so, okay.
I think I just sent a friendly email to Bob.
Maybe that's what
Cause
happened.
it was right when he exited council.
Okay,
So I had his personal email, so I just said, hey, you know, when you're able to go.
Okay,
You know, cause he, you know, cause you guys have that, you
Okay.
know, on your corner.
And there's some-
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two schools that use that intersection all the time, so we have to keep it back. It was really fast. No, I just didn't know if it was something new happening, like that we need to educate people about, or it's an ongoing thing that we need to educate people about.
I think it's kind of both.
Okay.
That's great, thanks, Tom.
Sorry.
No. Okay, so our biggest, highest priority is the fall planting. The date has been set by PHS, it's November 16th. So please mark your calendars. We have to start promoting that. Because we're gonna need volunteers and obviously the cooperation of the Public Works Department. Good thing we have it sort of down to a science, but. Okay, so number one, please be sure that as many conversations as possible in the next few weeks are about tree planting, like. When you see a neighbor, when you see someone you haven't bumped into lately. I mean, they do have to be a property owner in Narberth. We can't help renters unless they actually. Get the buy-in from their owners, and we can't do that for them, they need to get the buy-in from the person they pay rent to. So, we need to up this because, so what we did was, just to remind everybody. Because in the past, when we waited to see what people ordered, PHS would often be out of the species that are most popular, like, of course, red buds and. What's the other one everybody wants? Serviceberry. So what Rick has done this time and the previous time was based on past experience, knowing what we would probably plant. And only selecting native trees, because PHS does other than native trees, we were doing only native trees. So he ordered them based on what and that's what's in the agenda. So this is what he ordered. The elms are gone, but there's only one. One neighbor ordered an elm. So we only have orders from 6 neighbors. So does that make 20 minus 7 or 20 minus 14 left? So, and we can amend the order to PHS by September 20th. And of course, remember, that's why it says tree authority question mark here. The past, gosh, has it been like 3 or 4 times? It's been quite a few times when we bought trees from this company called Tree Authority. It ends up being the same cost. We like to support PHS and their efforts. Tree Authority delivers them. Sometimes they're tiny, sometimes they're quite mature and big pots. I had to have the Public Works guys actually move the Tree Authority trees to the spot where they were gonna be planted, because we had no way to move them. I thought that was kind of funny. So they actually had to put them on the spot where the.
They're heavier because they're in pot, they're not, they're rooms.
Anyway, should we have a quick discussion about this? Like, what do we wanna talk about spreading the word? Thank you, by the way, for the great flyer you created. And that's going in the Borough Blast.
So, but one thing about the
Yeah.
flyer is, the date
Oh,
says
date,
September
yeah.
8th, so
You know
what
what,
should we change it to?
oh, yeah. What is the 20th, it is the 20th?
What should we do?
How about we just put, cause it'll go out this Friday, why don't I just,
What day of the week is the 20th? Let's see here. So September 20th is a Friday. Don't you think we should tell people we need to hear back by the 18th at the latest? What day should we say?
Should we just say, no need, just say, hurry up and put your order in because supplies don't.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah, and that
that,
way it can
yeah,
just keep
because-
on running.
yeah, because we will take orders after 20th for people. in line,
Because we'll
and
buy
order them three. But then, yeah, yes, there's an
That's-
idea that, you know, there's.
Right, that's a good idea, right?
We have to create.
No,
That's more.
I'll
Awesome question.
I'm just gonna.
So then what happens? You have to get a revised flyer to Alan Pizarro,
Yes.
because he did place them in the bulletin boards. Jeff, do you think it's too late for us to order something, for the sandwich board? What does that require for you?
I just need a picture of the actual flyer, with the graphic, if it's a bit clean,
PDF,
file,
okay.
and then they can take it and put it, unpixelated, to that size.
So are you able to do that?
Sure,
Christina?
sure,
Just
sure.
send it to Jeff.
I could even send it booster, I mean, do we want all the text? Do we wanna redesign it a little bit, or just have all the text that we put for the, just put the flyer?
It was fine. I
Okay,
think it's
yeah.
fine.
And,
Tell me again, the
Obvious-
wording, no, that was good. I like what you just said. Hurry up
I'll
and order
place,
supplies are
it
limited.
says, yeah, it says place your order, blah, 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 I'll just put, please place your order
As
as soon as possible. And we'll keep the QR code on that, cause we'll, okay,
Okay.
great. I might take off some of the pictures on the bottom, just so we can make the QR code bigger for the poster. And is it regular sandwich board size, you know what, I'll do proportionate.
Is that 18 by 24
I
maybe?
know I've sent it to size a few times to some other folks, so let me just find. it.
Sure,
Okay,
take your
great,
thank you.
thanks, Jeff.
Is that like the one that's downtown?
Yes.
Or is
That's
it,
Narber's Farmers
Yeah.
Market.
or the one that, for like the recycling? Yeah, that would be great to have something right downtown there.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Okay,
Supplies are limited or something like that, yeah, that's people. That's why we.
okay, anything else? Does anyone need support in spreading the word? You want a copy of Christina's flyer to
Yes.
gift people? Cause, how can we do that? You think we can ask Alan to print a couple of colored copies? Do you know how many we might use? No, what were you thinking? Or were you gonna attach it?
Well, I could attach it to an email.
Okay,
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
And you know what, I never put the URL, so especially since it's gonna be an email, let me bring that instead of the marker.
oh, that makes sense.
Great, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, and if you send that to me too, I'll send it to people.
I'll also send you guys, just before I send it to Jeff, the poster, just so we can get one last
Oh, yeah,
look at it before.
sure. You
Because
are
I
a
think I-
human being
yeah.
after all.
And I'm gonna change a couple of things because, just, I don't know how much of the copy will be legible, and I think we need to make it much more like QR code action, call to action.
I
So I'll
agree.
just change it a little bit.
Good,
Yeah, maybe not so much text.
yeah. We're so lucky to have
Thank you.
you.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh,
What happened? It disappeared.
okay.
Do we want to do anything with that, display cabinet downstairs before, like now? I mean, you said.
Oh,
you
that's
want-
coming up.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
you
not-
mean now. Oh,
Like-
you put the flyer there.
Put the flyer and, I don't know, some leaves or decorate it somehow, so that people coming in.
Just-
can see it.
So do you wanna do that, Christina?
You can try it.
You know what, I, let me just come up with a couple of printouts, like I'll just put the QR code as its own. Do you know, I won't,
Yeah,
we
okay.
won't print out a poster, but I'll just come up with
Okay.
a couple things more, because I don't
Yeah.
temporarily.
It's not to be fancy. just
Yeah.
that we'll provide.
Yeah,
Does Alan Gazzardo have a key?
I'm sure.
He said just give him the information.
Oh, excellent. I think I read that and I forgot.
Oh,
that's
I'll get
excellent.
it to you, and then maybe when he does it, we'll just say, oh, can we be there, when you put the.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so let's look at our calendars and say by when we wanna have Jeff have the PDF or What day is today? Today's the 10th of September. So do we want Jeff to have the stuff for the sandwich board by the 16th? It's not gonna help.
I'll do it as soon, I can do it. Tomorrow, I can do it by Thursday.
Wow, okay, so. It's possible that we could have, wow, that's great. So we could have stuff this week, that's only 3 days from now. I can be helpful with that.
It's all here, it won't take long, as soon as everybody gives me feedback, great. It really won't take long.
Okay, good. And then we have to be sure that Alan uses the newly revised PDF in early classes. And that he changes the ones that are in the cabins. Okay, anything else about spreading the word for fall planting? I did want to mention, because I don't think that's in here now, but we're having some technical difficulties with the Instagram account.
Do you have access to, you don't have access to the Instagram password. Do you by any chance have access to the, because then to reset the password, it goes to a Shade Tree Commission Gmail. Do you have access to that Gmail?
Just don't know who has that.
East Sally.
Yeah.
Well, Sally, that's our problem with Jessamine.
Reset.
We haven't been hearing back from her.
I have had the same.
It's
issue
like a
with
spin,
Brand,
because
yeah.
I'm spinning, I'm like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
reset it. But if the reset goes to that damn Gmail that we also don't have access to. Okay, I'll reach out to her again. I did one, well, maybe I can, I'll figure something out. I need to reach out to her.
Do you see her down on the street?
I must have seen her, I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah,
So
If anybody bumps into
Okay.
her,
I did see her going into the ice cream shop
see.
last week, so.
Everybody goes to the ice cream shop.
Out there, maybe.
Yeah.
So Jim, also, if you don't mind, if you see her, could you just say, you get in touch with Christina.
About the Gmail, you know.
And
Instagram.
Instagram. I'm having that, we're coming to that, but I'm having problems with Tree City USA for the same reason, so. I think this is another compelling reason for us to not attach an individual member of the commission.
Yeah.
To a, you need to have.
Everybody.
or just have a general
Yeah.
Gmail password list or
Yeah.
something.
Because it's
A shared
perfectly
commission.
fine and healthy for people to leave the commission.
Yes.
I mean, it really is
Right,
perfectly
you don't want
fine.
the
And
information
it's
you want.
wonderful for somebody to manage the Instagram, it's just, I mean, honestly, I lost my own like passwords all the time, so I would. I understand how this. could happen.
Okay, so that's a bit of a problem because spreading the word, I mean, Dawn had mentioned to me in passing, just in a personal conversation, or maybe you mentioned it last time, I'm not sure. I love this idea of baseball cards for the different tree species. Because I think that will be so helpful for people, even if they're just planting trees on their own.
Does the Facebook page work? I know we don't have a lot of followers, but you could.
Oh, do we have a
Change that.
Facebook page?
I don't know that we do,
Um,
and if we do, we should, you're right.
I know Rick in the past has posted, do you know anything about this, Jim? Is that
It's
right?
Tree Tenders page.
Street, is it Darwin Street?
Yeah,
Oh,
number 3 tenders.
oh, I had no idea.
Is that the Shade Tree Commissions, it's the same thing?
So,
Okay. Okay,
I mean, we're essentially the same thing
but,
nowadays, but yeah,
okay. Is that a site we could post to
yeah.
as
That's
a member
my
of the
side.
Shade Tree Commission?
Yeah, I run that, so yeah,
Oh,
Okay,
excellent.
Sure.
Would you be willing to post the flyer if Don says it?
sure, I mean, but you can just become a just join and post whatever.
Oh,
okay.
great. Oh, that's good to know.
And it's a,
So could we put that in? Oh, that's great. Thank you, Jen. I was unaware of that. I know that Rick usually uses the Narber Community Network to post
Yeah.
about like volunteer opportunities.
So, I mean, depending on, it's always changing on Facebook, the way those things get disseminated, but, you know, the tree tenders group is fairly low membership, so we'll post to those people. It's a public group, so
If
we
like,
can cross post it.
if the Narber tree tenders posted to the Narber
Yeah.
Community Network,
Right.
yeah, we're having this planting, or then,
Right.
like, then maybe you get more followers into that group, and also, like, you could post things about planting trees, where there's 100 sayings about the wisdom of planting trees, or there's things about the benefits of it, you know, there's all kinds of greenery that you just pop up there.
Do you want to take a little responsibility for that?
I could, and I,
Just finding out, maybe at the next meeting, report back,
Okay.
how it
Yeah.
moved forward or didn't.
okay.
That's awesome. Thank you, Dawn.
And
Wow, she already has
If
responsibility.
Christina figures out the Instagram, we can do something.
Yeah, we definitely want.
There's two Instagrams too. There's
What?
two
Oh, so
pages.
like-
Why
Because I think,
Instagram?
because I think what happened, the same thing happened before is,
We
so we cannot have three, like, we just can't. So we'll figure it out.
Anything else about spreading the word for tree planting this fall? Just whenever you see anyone on the street, anyone you're talking to, anyone and everyone, because you never know, they might not want a tree, but they might know a neighbor who does.
I, just an idea, like I got an email from Michelle Gatwiler.
Yeah.
And she's promoting her autumn classes.
Sure.
And one of the things she's teaching on mainline schooling is about trees.
Oh,
So I thought I'd email her and ask her like, hey, when you do your talk on the trees, can you say like the Arbor State Tree Commission is having a fall planting and planting a free tree for you? So if I could reach out to her and just ask her if she doesn't mind putting like a minute or couple sentences about.
That's a receptive audience, that would. be great.
Yeah.
and you know what, I can also send you, or you can look it up, there's a Lower Marion Shade Tree Commission, there's a rad, is there a rad there? I think they just give the trees, they don't plant them for you.
Yeah, here's like the only town that I'm aware of that
That's
physically plants. And everywhere else will bring the trees in, they'll get dropped off in, you know, like the township parking lot, and folks will come and pick them up.
Oh, that's the case for
Yeah.
Lower Marion as well, I thought they planted them, maybe they plant the
Lower
ones that
Marion.
I see.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's civic association and neighborhood groups that do that.
Oh, okay, well, you know what, Don, speak with your idea. I mean, we just have to be clear that it's for Narberth property owners.
Oh, yeah, so,
Yeah, I think that makes more sense, because it is just Narberth property, and I guess maybe she could just say, and I don't think she'd care, I mean, she could just say, oh, check your own
right, yeah.
municipality website.
I'm gonna try to participate in the workshop too, but,
Oh, good.
but, yeah. Oh, but I'm gonna also ask her to explain.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. Okay, great. Okay, so the next agenda item is Tree City USA. And the only update here is that, I've taken over accountability, that was Sally's accountability. I'm having some difficulties. I'm just having problems logging in because anyway, it doesn't matter. So I reached out to the person listed as the contact for updating the accountability person. And I got an automated response, but they said they'd get back to me and they didn't. And then I didn't follow up again. So that's on me, but I do need to follow up because we need to apply to be a Tree City USA every year in January. So that's a little bit, that's very much on my task list to getting back in touch with the Arbor Day Foundation so we can update our stuff and know what's required. I mean, they don't send us money, but it sure is nice to be known as a Tree City USA.
You have to take her down all our signs.
I know. So just another sign, evidence that we have to have. You know, we can't have anything tied to a specific individual for the Shade Tree Commission. Okay, next update is Parks and Rec. Brave
Oh,
Bettina
yeah.
has
Okay, yeah.
taken on accountability, that was also Sally's accountability, and Bettina has taken on accountability, so anything you wanna say?
I went on Friday night, they had all of the plans out there for first
Oh,
Friday down
okay.
in the circle.
Yeah,
It's great, a ton of people stopped by and were interested and gave their opinions on the different plans. So, yeah, I think people had opinions and. The woman, your friend Rebecca, is really good and she got people interested in. You know, having a conversation about it, so. Yeah, it's great, so I'll go to the meeting tomorrow.
and what's the next time, they've got October 7th, I think is a important date, right, it's not the presentation or something,
There's a meeting tomorrow night,
is
Yeah,
important.
tomorrow.
Park Master Plan, yeah.
There is a meeting, yeah.
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 Is that
It's
a
always
public
like-
meeting?
Always a day after this one.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I was actually flabbergasted. I think it was good because I took a friend of mine who lives in Narberth. And, you know, I said, oh, I want you to talk to my friend Rebecca, because I knew that Rebecca, you know, it's a big thing for her.
Mhm.
So I took her over. And my friend had not heard not a single word about it, not a whiff of a word about it. And it was a lesson to me because I'm always like, you know, I read the Narberth,
Right. Yep,
and we have to remember there's tons and tons of property owners.
Yeah.
You know, like she said to me, what does this have something to do with the Sabine Avenue thing and? But I think we have to remember when we're doing our tree stuff, that our stuff is also reaching on certain people.
right,
So I was glad in a way, I mean, I was glad also I could share with her about the parks, but I was kind of glad by lesson learned. We think people know, but they actually don't,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just have to keep reminding ourselves of that.
yeah.
So just so we know, so tomorrow is a meeting for the purpose of gathering public input, is that what it is?
What's the meeting tomorrow?
The committee meeting, the master council will be a status update, I guess there'll be a report on Friday.
Mhm.
There's something being decided about the skate park, I think, tomorrow.
Well, I did talk to that guy at length and he said he would be there tomorrow.
Oh, great,
I don't
okay.
know. It's, yeah, he is giving you an official presentation or.
Probably, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the main outcome they're looking for tomorrow night is to give our landscape architects, you know, the path to go down to begin their final plans. So that involves, you know, discussions of tennis courts, skate parks, opening up the pipe that runs through the field, so there's a lot to talk about. It should be a busy, well-attended meeting tomorrow.
Oh, okay, I don't know why I got October 7th in my head. September 11th is really important, okay.
On the flyer, I thought too.
Well, that might be the one that
I think there's
they make it maybe the final presentation.
Doesn't matter.
I think that's-
That's my crazy brain. Okay, so tomorrow is pretty important.
Mhm.
Anything else? First of all, thank you for taking on, sure, we're bold, but, is there anything else we need to know?
I mean. You know, it was my first time looking at all those plans too, and there were different ideas, I guess. I'm curious what the, you know, what the predominant feedback was, or how they. Received. They all went all trees. So, I mean, from what I gathered, they were all like very, like high level plans, like, you know, the details will be. Subject to change. So small, the big plan. There would be, you know, options for all of them. So those would be presented for the people's feedback thoughts. So I'll let you know more.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I just always wonder, because in my experience with the things I've been involved with in Arbor, it's often just whoever shouts loudest gets their way, and that was concerning.
The guy with the skate park, he's very enthusiastic, so I have a feeling he'll. Who is that? I don't even know, Patrizio, somebody, I don't even know if he lives in Norfolk, but. He wants to go to the skate park, a real one. And,
Oh.
yeah. That's,
There?
yeah,
Okay.
Oh, he builds skate parks.
yes, but also like he's very involved with the skating.
Sure.
Kids,
I get it.
yeah, this has had clinics over there apparently, and.
Jim, how does the borough council, if you don't mind, and you don't have to answer if it's not appropriate, but how does the borough council balance like who shouts the loudest with what's in the best interest of the community?
So nothing like that has come up yet since I've been on, so,
I mean, it's just a philosophical.
yeah, I mean, there are clear cases where, you know, something that has to go forward, or, you know, or, I mean, yeah, mostly conjecture now, but, you know, like, they'll get a lot of feedback that's not necessarily at a public meeting. But the people who are most affected might come out, or the people who are most against it might come out. I think you just have to keep the perspective that a lot of people will be reactive in certain circumstances rather than taking a long view.
Yeah,
Some people are just expressing their initial fears,
right.
whereas they may, you know, see more dimensions to it later. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, especially with the big part, it's like everyone is gonna have their perspective, because if you have small kids, you want that little. Playground to be a priority, and if you have a kid who plays football, you want. Right, football field, so I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has.
And
what
that
they want.
perspective is for a very little one, when we saw that at the school's start times, is a very limited
There you
time
go.
in your life.
Yeah.
Like when your kid's 20, you might not feel the same way about.
right, that's a good example.
I mean, we
Yeah.
are.
But apparently the football field. Keeping the football field.
Well, that's for
and-
life.
And then
That's
opening
And
the creek are not in conflict, you can't do both, so.
the baseball, and then baseball fields, because it.
The
that
90-foot field versus
Has
the
its
7
own-
field, yeah.
I mean, wow, I'm impressed you know this.
I learned this on Friday, it was very important.
well, maybe what I could do is attend the meeting with the question, how do we make decisions that are best for the overall public good?
Some are just gonna be financial.
I was gonna say. some of
Opening
them are very
Opening the
expensive.
creek
Yeah.
is enormously, like, that's millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, just that might be one of those things that's just not possible, unfortunately.
However, it might be possible to not prohibit that from some future
Right, yeah, yeah. Mhm,
opportunity.
yeah,
Do you mean, so there's, I mean, we have water, I hear it underneath our street, so there's a.
Yeah,
Robert-
very
Robert
right
Carr.
there. Yeah.
So
Fully
that,
found.
so when was that built, and is it has it always been natural, was
No,
never?
no,
So we built these
dug a hole
fields,
and stuck it under. a
over,
culvert, Yeah,
we built these fields over a creek, and we're
Correct.
trying,
Yeah.
okay, oh, I never knew that.
that's one of the
Which
reasons
is
why.
why.
Is there any
Fixes-
photographic evidence of that prior to the field, like a?
Yeah, I don't know when that was done.
Yeah,
About that.
that'd be really neat to
That's been a
see.
long time ago.
yeah, it'll be like pre-1905 or something.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so let's keep going. Winter pruning we discussed. Tree replacement plan. Now, Dawn, just to get you up to speed, when. Oh, I think I may have mentioned this to you in the past, but the, NatWest has asked us to draft kind of a standard for the borough to use when in the future there are large developments like the big one that's going in now. To recommend, like, you know, what kind of size for the planting spot, and what about the, what's that tiered soil, what's that special soil?
Structural soil.
Structural soil. So when you're in a crowded space and you wanna plant trees and you want them to survive, there are certain standards for planting. So Matt West and Borough Council asked us as a shade tree commission to make recommendations. So Rick and I are working on that, with the intention of submitting it to council like January 1st. And again, we'll be using lessons learned by other municipalities to do that. We're not gonna make it up on our own. One of the things about this is that there really isn't anything coming up anywhere in the near future that's gonna use this, but we figure. But good, some future person
That's right.
who's still alive when I'm dead. When they decide to be completely rid of it, yeah, it's fine. So we are working on that. Looking at the agenda, I don't see anything else. There's communications. I wanted to be sure that we put an acknowledgement, if we could, in the meeting minutes of Christina and your work on communications materials. And then if I could add another thing, maybe number 11, I wanted to be sure, unless you've already made a note earlier in the minutes, that we're delighted to welcome our new, member to the Shade Commission. And we did want to at least talk about, because we had the email that went around just to alert everyone that, Dawn does teach until 7 on Tuesdays. And she can't get her until like she runs here. So, does anybody have any suggestions of what would work best for you? A different day, a different time, just start later?
Would Wednesdays? I mean, another day seems better rather than you.
I know the planning commission meets the Wednesday.
Oh,
Oh,
that
no,
might be a
no,
problem.
I'm wrong. They meet Mondays, never mind. I did it back. I'm thinking, I don't meeting, I'm going to tomorrow.
Like 7:15 or 7:30, like 7:15. Might be able to.
How would 7:30 work? Is that possible?
You wanna do it? I mean, we would need to look at a calendar to see what other events take place here. Can we
Just look
I'm
at
sure
the
nothing
Margaret.
else is happening.
switch it to a different Tuesday, not a second Tuesday? Oh, wait,
No,
this is
it's
how-
every
this is how
Tuesday.
we do it. Okay.
Margaret's PA, whatever it's called. Oops.
I happen to have something that just came up for Tuesdays too, which I would skip for this, but. I didn't have to. Have it, but probably the easiest would just be.
Yeah, Wednesdays are not ideal because that's at Mighty Writers until 6:30, but it's not terrible. And also I could change that, so it's not terrible. Okay, so news and announcements. I don't know where meetings are. Government boards and commissions. I don't know that. You don't happen to know, Jim, where I find this on the website, how I know when the different meetings are? Can you?
Well, if you go to the front page of the website, at the bottom is a calendar.
Oh, the very bottom?
Yep.
Okay,
Scroll down to the bottom.
okay,
Wednesdays are pretty heavy.
okay.
Okay, so maybe would you just
Move to 7:30
um,
on the, what are we, the second Tuesday, or the first Tuesday? Be the first.
Second
Okay.
Tuesday.
So he did say, when I sent the email to you and Rick saying like, so to remind you.
Yeah.
He said like, we have a reorg in January. And
Oh, that's
he said we're
true.
gonna keep the meetings at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. Until the rework meeting, and then we have the ability to change our meeting time if we have a consensus.
Okay,
But I don't know if you guys talked since then.
No,
but
no,
That
no,
was
I
his
was not.
response to me, was
Okay.
like, we're gonna keep it the same, you're just gonna have to be late.
And
then-
then if you really wanted to, you could change them as long as there's time to advertise, them, which is like a month or so.
yeah, okay,
I'm happy to do whatever works for the group.
okay. So for now, we're gonna stick with you arrive when you can, you've communicated, everyone knows, etc. Okay, that's good. And then when we rework in January, we can figure it out, and maybe it would be a different day of the week. And as I said, I can change around my rare, so.
It seems like if it's been Tuesday and that's the perfect, then yeah, we'll just.
No, we've shifted it around before.
Can't this just open to 7:30 now, so Dawn doesn't have to be late for the next 3 meetings?
No, I think, can, how far again?
I think you can,
You just have to tell the borough.
should talk to Matt about it, might not be able to do it for next month, but. No, starting November.
Okay, I'll take that on.
Yeah, okay,
Person will ask. Yes, but not us. Okay, great, thank you. Okay. Well. Is there anything else anybody wants to discuss at this meeting? Jeff, is there anything for you?
Got one quick thing,
Yeah.
just, our remaining monies in our shade tree maintenance and planning line item. We have about $5,100.
Okay, great, thank you.
That is, I try to leave 5,000 for each planting.
Yeah,
But just know, for this planting, we will need to buy the bags of mulch. With the spring planting, we had the cows remaining from the fall of 23. So we didn't have that cost for our spring planting.
okay, good to know. And that's approximately how much?
Maybe 250,
Okay.
I would like to just buy a full pallet again, so we
Yeah.
have enough for 2 plantings.
I think that makes sense.
It's one trip down, so.
Yeah.
And then if we need to purchase more bags.
Okay,
The watering bags, the gator bags. They were around, I can check the invoices tomorrow, I wanna say 300,
okay,
so, just for sake, just say 500 set aside for.
sure. Which would leave us with $1,100, excuse me. $4,100 for the trees.
Like 46.
You said 51 total
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, I
Minus
mean-
500, so
Right,
of course,
sorry. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, good. Now, just so you know, Jeff, at the last meeting, we did approve up to,
Those 2,000.
right, for, in case we have to buy, okay. But this is really good. Did you get those numbers, so you can put them in the minutes? Yes, okay, awesome, great. That's
What was
great.
the last thing you said there? Pardon?
Oh,
Last
that
time
we
approved?
had approved something like 2,000 and we.
Right, okay.
So it's important that we,
Yeah, it's,
So Jeff, do you think that we should consider a motion to authorize up to X now, so we have it, because it's September already?
it's yours, it's set aside, it's not being spent on my end.
Okay, so we don't have to. We don't have to vote on approving that expenditure then. Okay. Good. Okay. But that's useful to have.
Yeah, and it's not, I don't wanna say it's not a big deal if we go over budget. It just requires me to do a budget. Adjustment note, send, we'll go to Matt, Matt and I will present that to council, just explaining why we went over by $250.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good to know.
let's try and avoid it, but if it happens, it happens,
Yeah. Well, I guess the relevant question though is, for the next budget year, do we need to consider an extra $500 for the budget, or an extra 1,000, is it going to be a thing that we have, it costs more now to do this or not?
I had my first preliminary meeting with Matt about our public works budgets. And I am requesting an increase for our shade tree maintenance budget, I just feel slow. Cause I would like to be able to work for more each
Yeah.
year, be a little more proactive on our end. Rather than waiting for trees to fall, because they never fall while we're on the clock. It's always right when we get home, then we're fighting traffic. Or Sundays, when we're all with our, kids and wives and families. So yeah, so it is on my hit list, I did
Okay,
get support from Matt for it, so
Okay.
as the year ends and we start to talk about our finances, I am hopeful we get some form of an increase.
okay. So that means we should probably make a note that we should include this in the agenda of the November and December meeting, don't you think? What budget we want to request. It starts in January, when do you start talking about the budget or when?
No, like right now.
We began now, I know Rick had. Since the shade tree maintenance and planning line item is managed by me.
Okay.
You don't need any formal request from the shade tree.
Okay.
I just know I have your best interests.
Sure, thank
At heart, I try to do 5,000 for spring and fall plantings.
Okay,
But currently that only leaves me $5,000 for tree pruning, or if we have to take a tree down, and then. That could happen in spring, then I'm going 8 months with no money,
right, exactly.
Hoping, so.
Well, and just to remind everybody that Arbor Day Foundation requests that anyone with a designated Tree City USA spends $2 per resident. And Narberth has approximately 4,000, is it more than that, Tim?
4,400, 4,500.
So it's basically, to be a Tree City USA, you have to spend at least
$9,000.
$9,000 a year on the tree.
And this 50, is the fiscal year the same as the calendar year?
Yes.
Do you provide proof, like to renew that every year? Do you provide proof of that? or-
I haven't been able to get into the account, but I know. But hopefully I can report on that when we discuss the budget. Let's be sure that's on the agenda for October. So just to remind everyone that our October meeting is and your kids can't actually, if your kids are texting. Okay, I have the 8th, Tuesday, November 8th. Wait, is that,
October.
I mean, October, excuse me. Tuesday, October 8th at 7 PM, and one of our members, Dawn Weisford, has to arrive a little late. And some of us also might arrive late if something else happened in our lives. There's always that. Okay, could I ask for a motion to end the meeting? Moved by Bettina, second. Seconded by Christina, all in favor? Aye, that's 4 ayes, any opposed? 0 no's. Okay, so that means that the Narberth Shade Tree Commission is called to complete at 8:12 PM on whatever day it is.
Adjourned.
Adjourn, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.